The next one is going to be just a pulse up. All right. And you're going to have your heels pointed to the sky again. That's important, right? To really get these ab workouts to kick. Your heels need to be pointed up. I said it before, I'm saying it again. And pretty much, man, all you're doing is you're using your abs and you're bringing your hips off the ground and your heels towards the heavens. Boom. And you want to be able to maintain this sway, okay? You want to stay in a certain range with your feet. You don't want to be all over here and all over back here. You want to just kind of keep them in, maybe a foot, a foot span. Boom, like that. And that's what brings the pain. All right. That's where the money's made. All right. And then after that, we're gonna do a V-up roll up, and that workout looks like this. Let me adjust my mat here. I guess you can see me better from the side. All right. So you're gonna be doing a sit up. I'm gonna have my hands like this, straight up in the air. Okay. Then I'm gonna come up, touch my toes, and as I come back down, my legs come up, right? And guess what? The magic happens right here. Boom. I come back up. All right. So let me show you again. So there's the V up, and that's the roll up. All right. So let me do this again because I'm fatigued a little, and I want to show you guys the right way to do this here. Up and then back down. All right.
Okay. Got it.
All right, and then the next one will be the oblique V up. All right, so you're gonna be on your side. Can you see me? You see me good?
Yeah.
Am I cut off? Am I cut off? Okay. So this arm here, man. Again, I want to emphasize this: do not push off on this arm. You're just gonna negate the workout by pushing off. Right? You want to be isolating your obliques to bring your body forward. All right. So this arm is just for balance. All right. So you're gonna place your left hand behind your head, and all you're doing is you're bringing up your lower torso to meet your upper torso. All right.
Okay.
Like that. And you want to be V'd up to a certain degree. All right. Your feet are going to be pointed out in front of you. Okay. And you're going to have like a slight V to your body here. Right. And you just bringing it up. Just bringing it up. And try to make contact if you can. Right. Boom. All right, you see, I'm not pushing off on this arm. It's just there for balance. All right, and then you're going to turn over and you're going to do the other side. All right. So, all right. I mean, that's an age-old debate there, man, or age-old question. Like, what should we call if we're not called that? And, just like the N-word conversation that we had, I guess we're trying to, reappropriate it and make it sound better. I mean, we really didn't have a plethora of positive terms to really be called, right? Like, I mean, it's really, what can you say? I mean, seeing that we're a mixed bag of ethnic groups from, a plethora of countries in Africa, I mean, what can we be called? I mean, what are they called? And see, that's another thing. That's a great question, man, because I kind of want to stop the video and do some research a little bit on that question. That's how good that question is. Because it's like, what are they called in Nigeria? Right? What are they called? Are they Nigerians?
Yeah, they're right? Nigerians, but they're Nigerian. It's great that you brought that up, right? I'll stop my exercise right quick. Nigeria has, I think there's 66%. That's the rate, the percentage. Mm-hmm. They basically put it like this. I don't want to spout out incorrect facts. But Nigerians in the entire continent of Africa, Nigerians are the highest percentage of people who bleach their skin.
Oh,
yeah!
Wow!
There's, as a whole, they are not trying to be dark skinned. They are trying to lighten their skin. Yeah, man. Wow, it's sad, and a lot of people do it on the black market and use creams and stuff they ingest, and it causes cancers and ulcers and all this type of shit, man. But yeah, they're black. They say black. They're black. Yeah, great question.
So do you feel like that, basically like kind of seeps into our psyche though, just being called black? I mean, that's another good question to really kind of expand upon as well. But again, that's a great question because I don't know what we would be called. I mean, I guess brown spoken for, because really that actually matches, that would actually, perfectly describe skin tone, right?
Right.
But yeah, that's man, I'm at a loss for words for the first time, man, because I really don't know what would be a reasonable. I think just like the N word is something that we just adapted to, and we made, I guess we made good. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, we don't necessarily have to fall into the negative stigma of the word or how it sounds. I mean, black is I guess the color of our. I mean, I don't know, man. Again, I'm at a loss for words.
This is what I'll say, man. This is what I'll say. So for one, with our workout buddies who are listening, like the one that first I would say this: keep in mind that because one, we don't necessarily know what to call ourselves, and the only names that we can think of to call ourselves are what other people called us. Please understand that's why we have to take ownership, or that's why we feel that we must take ownership of certain words, right? So when in our last episode, when I'm talking about us only being able to say nigger or saying nigger, like that's what that has to do with. The other thing about it is, please keep in mind when we're saying black, when we're being pro-black, where we're saying I'm rooting for everything black. When we're saying we want our daughters to pick black dolls, when we're demanding that Disney and Pixar have more representation of people of color, when we're doing this, we're not being anti-white and we're not being prejudiced or racist. What we're doing is what needs to be done. And and I say that to answer your question, Dave. Like, what do we do with the word black? What do we call ourselves? We have to in my opinion, we have to refashion the way that we see black, right? We have to deliberately teach ourselves and then teach our children to teach their children that black doesn't mean bad, right? We have to deliberately teach them that their hair is beautiful. We have to deliberately, and that's why we have this push of like Black Lives Matter, or that's why we have this push of like, we want to see more black representation, because otherwise it's just going to be the same stereotypical bullshit that we're fed, that the only way you can be pretty is if you have lighter skin, if you have a thinner nose, if you have longer hair, So that's what that whole, for those of y'all who are listening, that's what that whole dynamic is. It's not us trying to be racist or reverse racist or prejudiced. It's us trying to change the story of what it means to be black, because we're fed it subconsciously.
And we got a lot of work to do, man. It's an uphill battle. I agree with you 100%. We got a lot of work to do, and it's a rebuilding process. And but see, the only thing is, I'm not sure that is where. I mean, I guess it should be part of the agenda, but I'm not sure if that's something that I'd have to research to find whether or not it does permeate into our subconscious as far as that negative term, right? Because you don't know until you know, right? You don't, so as far as a child is concerned, I think that, as far as them picking the doll, they necessarily come from the word black. It's just how we were treated, and again, when we talked about the appropriated adaptations, I think that's just something that was just passed down. And it's just, that's how we're teaching our children to look at themselves and think,
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. It comes from, and also it's small things, right? It's small things. Like you I don't know, something simple as like my wife and I, this is personal, but my wife and I, my point here is this, that children learn things very subtly. They learn things in a subtle way. So my wife and I have to be careful about how we talk about my baby. I have a baby mama. We have to be careful how we talk about my baby mama in front of the kids, because they pick up on certain little things that we can say. And I don't want them to think that we dislike her, right? So I don't want them to learn. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when you talk about race, or when you talk about religion, when you talk about anything else. When your children are present, you have to be careful with how they feel about what you're saying, what the overall feeling is. Because when you talk about black, they don't get it. All they know is black is scary.
Oh, I give you a word that really like culminates what you're trying to say. The word nappy, right? Like that's a real word. Yeah. That's a real word. And you'll see like, carpet installers or whoever or whatever, or even people that talk that kind of repair shoes. They talk about nap, and that's just, I guess the coarseness of the fibers or whatever have you, and the way it flows. And So when we look at our hair and we call it nappy, but yet we give it a negative connotation, like, man, comb your nappy ass hair. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. So I exactly know. I know exactly what you're saying. Right. It's the way it's portrayed. It's the way it's. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't